I sent Jim an email. I found some old policies that we talked about back in 2008, I think it was, on bridge replacement widths and guardrail. And I asked him whether he had a copy that had ever been signed, and he did not find one. I tried to check through the minutes real quick and didn't see anything in the minutes in that time frame, a couple months either way either. Talk about the replacement width first, I guess, and what prompted this policy to be discussed in 2008 was that when FEMA came in to look at that bridge, one thing they wanted to look at was whether we had a policy establishing what width bridges we build on our roads. We were able to convince them with all the bridges that we'd built in recent years that they were 30 foot wide, and so they did fund that replacement project at 30 foot wide. But to make that process easier and maybe, I mean, they could have come back possibly and said, no, we aren't going to pay for a 30 foot bridge there, we're going to pay for a 24. But they will consider what the county's policy is. And so that's what I was trying to do here, was come up with a policy on what width bridges we would look at using for replacement. And anything we did on the farm and market road, I would recommend a minimum width of 30 foot. Area service roads, level A roads with ADT over 25 vehicles per day, minimum width would be 30 foot. Those bridges, if they were functionally obsolete or deficient, they would be eligible for federal PR funds. Level A roads, ADT less than 25, they would not be eligible for VR funds. I put the 28 feet in there because we have put in some of them Odin precast bridges around the county, and they typically are 28 foot wide, so we go with them. So that would probably be a totally locally funded road. Level B road, greater than 25, again, those would possibly be eligible for BR funds, but on those I would considering either the Odin Bridge or a 24 foot standard foot bridge, but I guess the minimum I'd say would be 28 foot there again. Level B roads with less than 25 would not be federal funds eligible, and if replacement is justified, I would recommend a 24 foot minimum there. And same with level C. We've got some C level roads. The policy generally says that we aren't going to replace structures on C level roads, but if there was some justifiable reason, 24 foot minimums was what I was going to recommend there.
Just in our recent bidding and things, what's the cost difference between a 28 and a 30? Do you know?
I wouldn't say we had a real good, because we haven't bid anything but 30s.
We haven't let anything less than that. So.
Huh?
We haven't let anything less than the 30s. So.
And we haven't built any 24s for, I don't know, before Chris and I were here, so I don't know.
Yeah, that bridge west of me was a 24. That was before I was on the road. I'm trying to think, that was probably 20 years.
I mean, I guess my policy has been is it seems like bridges are never too wide. I mean, we have gotten to a point, it seems like with most of the equipment, that it's gotten to the point where it folds. I mean, there was a stage there 15 years ago where, you know, there was stuff that was too narrow. You know, people were trying to go down the road with 30 foot rotary hose or 30 foot, you know,
Yeah, well, really the only thing that's out there now is a 30-foot flat.
Figurehead, yeah.
That's, would be concerning.
And they come off a lot easier than, it used to be a half-day job to pull the head off, change, put it on a cart, anymore, in about 15 minutes you can drop the head off. So even though that's the case, I think the 30-foot bridges, do give some safety on roads as far as the actual corners of the bridges are out there beyond the shoulder of the road, which a little bit gets into the next deal there as far as guardrail on roads. On most gravel roads, my suggestion on the policy there is that if the traffic count is 50 vehicles or less, we wouldn't put traffic barriers on unless the bridge was 24 foot. Excuse me. If it's over 24 foot, we wouldn't put guardrails on the corners. And part of that because for them to hit the guardrail, they'd have to go off right at the point where the guard or the end of the bridge was. So if they go off too much sooner than that, they're going to be in the ditch and away from the end of the bridge too. So then if the traffic count was 51 to 99 vehicles per day on your 24 foot or wider bridge, they would put it on approach corners of the bridge only. And then if the traffic count was over 100 vehicles a day, we'd put it on all four corners.
That about takes hard surface to get to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a few gravel out there. The other thing is depending on our funding, if it's federally funded, we typically do still put the guardrails on the approach corners of the
guardrails collect snow.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a snow fence. And the weeds that grow by them.
Yeah. They create more issues, but
Yeah, it's can't answer.
you don't want to hit the end of that bridge rail if and we've got lots of bridges out there that haven't even got bridge rails that are adequate to keep somebody from hitting it and going off into a lot of those old bridges have got just an angle iron, more or less like a handrail that, if you walk up against it, you're not going to fall in, but if you end up hitting it with a vehicle, you'd probably go right on through it.
I think this is a good point.
Yeah.
I guess, after the storm this spring, it made me think about that again, that we had not, or at least I couldn't find where we ever, approved this. So I guess before we have another storm that would damage the bridges, I would like to get that approved. So it can always be changed, if we have a situation we need to change it for.
You have minimums. I think it's a good plan, both of them. I would move to approve.
No, second.
Motion's been made and second to approve the bridge width and the guardrail systems associated with the bridges. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Signed.
I have 2 copies signed. I take one and I think give one to Jim. I guess if you guys want one for your files, and sign 3 of them.